We appreciate you spending a few minutes watching EPS's EPPORA project selection demonstration. The current project selection process involves a sponsor for each project writing a business case that's from 10 to 25 pages, which contains the project overview, the expected cost, and the estimated return on investment. The CEO, or managing director, then appoints a selection committee consisting of 10 to 25 key executives within the organization, and maybe a consultant or two. And then they evaluate the business cases and hear a 5 to 15-minute presentation by the sponsor prior to making their decision about which projects to fund. This usually occurs once a year, although for some organizations it is twice a year. We observed 5 serious flaws in nearly every organization's project selection process. 1, a limited criteria. 2, the politics between the sponsor and the selection committee. 3, the frequency of selection. 4th, the lack of expertise used for evaluating specific criteria. And 5th, the lack of an audit trail. A few months ago, I read an article in the Wall Street Journal. Here is the key paragraph. Successful organizations need to implement the right projects at the right time so as to not lose out to the competition. Organizations also need to nimbly respond to sudden changes in customer needs and respond to environmental changes. Project portfolio decisions made today determine whether an organization will be competitive and relevant tomorrow. There's a fine line between failure and success. Organizations need to continuously determine which projects to fund based on sound criteria. What is needed is a tool that assures that organizations are continuously doing the right projects, since the world is always changing. EPPORA is just that tool. We're now going to demonstrate a few features of EPPORA supporting project selection. This is EPPORA's home page. If I go to the Administration tab and click on Criteria, what happens is I get a list of criterion that EPPORA supports. Criteria can consist of 25 default criteria, and an organization can add as many of their own criteria as they desire. The leftmost column is what we call an action column, which appears in almost every page. It has a set of icons. In this case, it only has the edit icon, which is represented by a pencil. For criterion that are organization defined, there's also an X in the column, which stands for deleting that one. You cannot delete default criteria. So the division is the fact that EPPORA supports multiple divisions, and each division can have its own set of projects. Thus, it can have its own set of evaluators for each of the criterion. The importance factor has a value ranging from -5 to +5. Negative numbers mean that the more there is of this, the less likely it is that you'll want to do the project. The responsibilities column shows who are the evaluators for this criterion for this division. So if we were to edit one, for example, alignment of organization goals for New York City, we would see what we just saw in a little bit different form. We could change the importance from a 3 to a 2. We could change who's going to evaluate it from these 3 individuals. We could add Alistair Beyonce and take off Alistair Anderson. Do a couple of saves, and lo and behold, we see Alistair Beyonce here, and we see an importance factor of 2. When a person that is an evaluator wants to make a score, they select the project. Doing that, we can go to the home page. We can see we've already selected the EPPORA importance implementation. They can then go to the Project tab, look at the current project and do a criterion score. And if they wanted to change the financial risk from a value of 7 to 9, they would just merely do that. Notice the date just changed accordingly. Thus, EPPORA creates a repeatable process for the continuous scientific ranking of projects. We've eliminated the sponsor's relationship and the sponsor's presentation. We have the foremost experts evaluating it, and we have continuous project ranking. In addition, we produce an audit trail justifying the selection. We appreciate you taking the time to watch our demonstration of how EPPORA helps support your organization continuously determine project ranking. We also have demonstrations for how EPPORA supports creating and maintaining requirements and schedules, estimating cost, improving communication amongst stakeholders, mainly project managers and their project team members, measuring and improving productivity, and optimizing the allocation of labor resources. If you'd like to discuss how EPPORA can work for your organization, please select the Contact tab to either call or send EPS an email. Once again, thank you for letting us describe EPPORA's project selection process.